Good morning, everyone. Kind of caught a break on Monday following the past 6 sessions, where 5 of those sessions showcased at least 5 new long signals. Finally, on Monday, only 2 new long signals, really just one triggered, but I saw another long signal that I definitely want to go ahead and take an early starter position in, and we'll go over that one after I go over the very first one. And then there's an amazing ad signal that isn't, and I'll discuss that. But first, DFIN. DFIN, I like this chart pattern a lot. I thought that this little gap up right here on strong volume was due to strong earnings. Whenever I finally got this signal today on Monday, you can see back-to-back heavy volume, above average volume. I noticed the stock on Friday, but the week closed, not interested. Max Green Bot for the past 4 days. So one more day, it'll make my Max Green Bot scan. So that's always big. I always take that in consideration. But after looking at the news, I realized this thing isn't gapping up because of earnings. It's gapping up because a secondary offering went well. That's pretty rare. And I have noticed in my lifetime, when this happens with an initial public offering, and I have a chart pattern like this, it's normally good news. Normally, not always, because that's the market. It's not a for sure kind of thing. It's just an odds situation, and the odds are on our side here. So I want to get long DFIN. Limit order 2346. I do not want to use the high of the day for one reason. This stock is slightly, ever so slightly extended from its 20-day moving average by 1 cent. If the stock would have traded down to 22.75 today, it would have touched its 20-day moving average, and that way I would go for the high of the day. But as it is, I don't want to pay up for the stock, so 23.46. But that also being said, the stock is not extended enough from the 20-day moving average to half the position. So before I go into the limits and the stops, it was initially flagged in my IPO scan, and then it was confirmed in my price volume BOP scan. And I now know that if it has Max Green Bop tomorrow, it'll be in my Max Green Bop scan. But the IPO and price volume Bop search scan is 2% each. Since the stock is so close to its 50-day moving average, as you can see, and right there at its 20-day moving average with the 5-day moving average touching it, it's going to be a full 2% position. No need to reduce the size of the position. I just want to make sure I don't pay up for the stock. So 23.46 is my limit. First cut loss right here. 22.34, moves below 22.34. I will be out of half of it. And for now, my final cut loss is right here, 21.09. Now, if this low fails on above average volume and or it loses Max Green Bop, I will either raise half of my remaining sell stops that are here to wherever it ends up in this area, and or I'll raise it all. Either or. But if it fails this level, there's no way this level will come into play before I raise my stops unless it crashes through it in a single intraday session. So keep that in mind. DFIN 2%, 23.46. Then the next long signal, GIII. GIII was found in my Max Green Bop for 5-day scan. I've already been watching this stock since for here. It was an earnings winner here. Earnings winner means even if it reports bad earnings, I don't care. Bad sales. If it gaps up, somebody is too heavily short the stock, and or the earnings are better than me and you even know. So following this session on the 7th, I was interested in GIII, and it's just shown up every day. And today, you can't even see it like that. Damn it. I'm going to have to open it up. So you can see that it closed higher than where it opened. That along with all the Max Green Bop and the tightening, contracting intraday daily chart pattern with all the bullish hammer candles, the bullish hammer candle over candle pattern with that Max Green Bop, I decided I want to go ahead and take an entry into it now. So GIII, want to use limit order 25.53. Definitely don't want to pay up for it because this stock is actually decently extended from its 20-day moving average. So not only am I using the 25.53, but it was in my Max Green Bop scan. So that's 1%. So we need to half that position. So it's going to be 0.5% of my account capital. GIII. Yeah, I don't think it's anything more. I think, gosh, I'm not quite sure. I got to go look at what I posted, but it should be 0.5% of my account capital unless I'm just completely ignorant and I decided to go ahead and do 1% just because it's an earnings winner, but I just don't think I did that. I just can't remember what I wrote on the new longs position page, but it should be 0.5% of my account capital, so that's what it's going to be. 1%, 0.5%, $2,000 goes into GII, 25.53, first cut loss, I'm starting to lose track here, 24.40, 22.19. Folks, I apologize for my video lessons. I'm not good at this stuff. I wish I was a better teacher. I wish I could be like some of the guys that I see on the internet. It's just not me. I really wish it was. I'm a terrible teacher. I apologize. I sincerely apologize. I wish I was much, much, much better. It is just what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Sorry, folks. I got to clean this up. I had to expand out it before I go on. Okay, now moving on. So we got GIII done. 1% for that max green bop scan. Half it since it's extended. Hold on for a sec. Okay, so that makes sense. So that instead of just checking the website, I went back and forth, didn't know if it was supposed to be 0.5% or 1%. I did 0.75%. I split the middle. Since I couldn't make up my mind earlier in the day, that's what I decided on. So it's 0.75%. All right, I got to move off GII. I now hate this stock. We're going to end it off with AERI. AERI, this is a special situation for one reason. This is what a Zoom 3 chart on Telechart looks like. See all the max green bop and strong green bop here, the strong uptrend here. By the way, I'm long since back here initially. Then you notice that basically the stock kind of drifted higher, then drifted lower, found support. The 200-day moving averages were gapping up. Do you notice following this gap up how it had max green bop the entire time as it pulled back, leading to today's session? Well, this is a beautiful Zoom 3 chart. Zoom 4 with that move on Monday would be beautiful, but there's one issue. What the hell happened to max green bop? Folks, this is something that has happened constantly since 2008. My beautiful charts, when they're very close to producing a potential beautiful great signal, they just F up on the day of the signal, and AERI is no difference. So AERI, if it would have had a volume surge today, and if it would have kept max green bop, it would have shown up in 3 scans. It's a perfect speculator quality stock, so it would have shown up in there, and that's the scan it showed up in on Monday. It would have also shown up in my max green bop for 5-day scan, and it also would have showed in my price volume bop surge scan because the volume would have been above average, hopefully on the bounce that you're seeing on Monday. Instead, this stock only showed up in my perfect speculator scan thanks to its beautiful earlier price move. But this chart right here is beautiful if you could just make this bar move all the way back up here. If this bar right here was up here, I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't love this chart, but I would love it. I would like it a lot. It's very, very pretty. It's definitely something that I'd be very interested in buying a lot of if I wasn't already fully invested. But as it is, AERI was in my perfect speculator scan. That's a 2% signal. Since it's an ad signal, it's got to be halved, 1%. It's not extended, so there's no need to reduce it further. So it's a 1% new long position, AERI. Want to get long using a limited order, 51.45 the high of the day. And there's only one stop. Today's low day, Monday's low day, 49.17. It moves below 49.17. I'll be all out of my ad signal. But this is a very, very nice chart pattern. It's not beautiful. It's not perfect. But it came damn close. It just lost that max green bop. But if you look at this pattern, you look at these charts, you will see this is what I love and hope can set up again. But for right now, losing that max green bop, it isn't that good. But wow, what could have been.